onto Keane in the mid lane. That was Winterfox that took him out.
And as far as mid lane focus is concerned, if European LCS is any indication and solo queue is any indication, Ahri is a huge pickup right now, especially with XiaoWeiXiao's farming tendencies in the mid lane. Ahri just is the type of mid laner that right now teams are willing to first pick, which says a lot, considering mid lane is a very counter-pickable lane. It shows a lot of power in Ahri right now, and not seeing that banned at this juncture, and also seeing Nidalee left up, a lot of jungle Nidalee being thrown out there. Both of them are available. I wonder if we're going to see Keane first pick Ahri here. No.
Azir getting banned away. Wow. Cop 9, 2, and 8 in their final game of Week 2 on Kalista. So they first picked that. Feeling confident.
Extremely confident.
Yeah.
To me, Kalista is not typically an AD carry that you first pick blind into everything, only because if the enemy takes enough stuff that can get directly to you, or enough point-and-click stuns, you're dead. And there's not too much you can do about it there. XiaoWeiXiao naturally picking up the Ahri afterwards, and they're saving their jungle pick for later. I wouldn't be too surprised if Rush plays a Vi into the Kalista, because it's kind of an easy mode, get to you, combo with the charm. And that's probably a Corki mid here. Gravity going hard early.
A very good point. Since that Kalista's already locked in, Keane's been known to take that Corki to the mid lane when Cop didn't have it. So they'll do it once again. Bunny FuFuu, no stranger to Morgana. And this composition coming out from Impact, if they do take the Vi, would almost be like the Impact, or the composition Gravity created to take people out.
And there was no hesitation there from Gravity with that Corki mid pick. I mean, it is what they did against Coast in Week 2 with Corki and Kalista. A little bit of extra shielding there from Morg to maybe block a few charms. The Annie would be the natural pick here, even though they're hovering over a lot of random stuff. Just because point-and-click stun on a Kalista, yes, there's a black shield, but with enough magic damage between Ahri and Annie, they could blow right through that.
Very interesting pickup so far. Still need that jungler. rek'Sai's left open with so many bans that are high tier. There's still so many high tier picks to go, and with Lulu as well to come in. That's going to be where? Top lane Lulu. All right. All right. I'm trying to decipher their team, remembering that they have a Corki mid lane here, as well as the Kalista at AD carry. So Gravity.
I definitely appreciate the speed of this pick and ban phase.
Yeah.
Hugely. While it is most likely a Lulu top and a Morgana support, we have seen Morgana top lane in LCK. They have people that can actually go anywhere. It would depend on the matchup, but I mean, it's against a Rumble. I think Lulu will be just fine. I do wonder what Team Impulse will round out their team with, though, knowing that he's going up against Kalista. He's hovering the Varus. It's unlikely.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of Graves picks against Kalista, only because he just has so much close-range damage. If Kalista ever wants to do all the jumpy stuff, Graves is just going to kill you.
Varus is more of a Wiz Fusion pick.
It is.
Yeah. Graves is an Apollo pick.
That's absolutely right.
So they're going to lock that one in. A lot of just front end in your face can come from this team here on the side of Impulse. And Gravity, again, putting together this amalgamation of this could work. That's kind of what you got to give it.
Yeah, it's a double AD carry composition with a lot of supportive tendencies thrown in there. Just the swap city. Is Cop going to be a top laner today?
I like the emotional swap wave in the crowd right now. They don't know what's going on.
In all honesty, I really like Impulse's team composition. Rush is on Lee Sin, probably his best champion, something he played to much effect when he was the #1 solo queue player on the Korean server. Being able to get it here against a relatively squishy team, try and take advantage of his mobility. They also have the incredibly all-powerful Ahri in the mid lane on this patch, and they got it pretty much for free.
Yep. And if you look, as we were talking about Impulse's composition, as we see the coaches shake hands and walk off, they kind of, we said they want to play like solo queue. They have the ability with those champions to kind of go solo queue-esque. Everybody can fight for themselves. Everybody could possibly start with those solo kills. Remember, you can also weigh in on our matches today. For the first game, tweet #GVWin or #TIPWin, and we will be tabulating the votes in a game.
Yeah, and I mean, just looking at these team comps as they're coming together. Impact as well. We have to mention, he is on Rumble. That is one of his best champions.
That's true.
As well. Like, across the board, Impulse has very comfortable, yet synergistic with the team comp champions, which is a really fabulous thing to pull off in the draft phase.
Well, both teams showing well at the start of the split. Only a few falters on each side, but they have found themselves near the top of the record books. Things to watch this game. As we said, the AD carries, even in games where the teams do bad, they're still faring well. And now with Apollo on Graves and Cop on Kalista, it'll definitely be a matchup to watch.
Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, Gravity, of course, coming into this game, tied for first place. They would get temporary hold of first place if they win this, because they'd be the first NALCS team with 4 wins. Impulse 2-2, trying to make sure they have a winning record.
Ooh, and a little aggression here from Cop, which is funny because Bunny FuFuu's aggression playstyle has bagged the team quite a few kills. But Gravity are trying to teach him to play a little bit more calculated. Funny to see that now.
For Bunny, we're kind of trying to slow him down on being too aggressive just because he'll like throw games just going way too ham for a hook. And so we're trying to slow that down and make him think a little more. But a lot of the time it works really well for us and we can get free kills. And yeah, we're just trying to make it so it's more calculated.
More calculated. There's some calculated Bunny FuFuu Morgana play there.
Yeah. See, much more composed Impulse on their side of the map.
Yeah, it does look like we're going to be seeing a lane swap.
Yeah, I was going to say, it'll be nice. They know they won't have to go up against catching bindings to the face and then aggression from Cop. That means it's going to be scary as well from Impulse once they hit 6 with Graves and Annie. We'll see who fares better off in this jungle.
So the freeze already put by Apollo in the top lane. It'll be interesting to see where the rest of the team ends up going. They're doing double jungle on Impulse's side, but Bunny is looking for an early gank.
Crowd knew it. The anticipation was there. XiaoWeiXiao, though, calm, cool, and collected. Doesn't blow flash. Knows he has the minion wave to walk behind as well. But by the way they're playing now, I'm pretty sure we'll see more of that from Bunny FuFuu, and they might even not leave.
Yeah, well,
they want to get that flash.
I don't know why he wouldn't just continue to do this here. They don't need the help top lane. It's going to land that time. That's a good amount of damage.
Still didn't burn flash.
It's a lot invested, you know. I think they're really just trying to give Keane an early lead. They weren't bringing enough damage to be able to get anything done with those bindings.
No problem to Cop. He's still farming free, but that's good. Gravity put something on the plate. They tried to go after an objective in the early game. Couldn't blow XiaoWeiXiao's flash. We'll see if that costs them anything or if it just kind of goes to the wayside.
And Gravity is on the more unpredictable side and creative side as far as game openers go. I remember last week, Saintvicious' Jarvan started on the enemy red buff, immediately level 2 ganked mid. They definitely like showing attention to Keane's mid lane early, but more importantly, just being a little unpredictable early game with double jungle and where they're going to go next.
Good Foss bombs here from Keane as he gets some harass on. Consumables to the ring of XiaoWeiXiao.
Got a party in the box.
Damage. Yeah, I was going to say, I hope to see a 4v4 here. I thought that was a reach. Maybe we will get it. Now a 2v2. 3 as Impact comes in from the side. Saintvicious may have gone a little harder than he wanted there. The flash was blown to get in. And now he's forced to kind of just burrow himself out. Sticks with the double buff, so that's good. Nothing too much lost there.
Well, Rush actually had to flash away at the end there, too, because he overcommitted a little bit on Lee Sin. Impulse would have been outnumbered if Cop didn't stick in the lane to farm. Really interesting trades here early on in the game. It's fairly equalized, actually, across the board, though.
I'm going to say, Cop may have alerted them all that they were coming. It might have been a much more defensive play from Impulse if they saw him leave lane as well. We have had Bunny FuFuu roaming. So again, Gravity trying to activate something here against Impulse in the early game. All that aggression towards XiaoWeiXiao has not hurt his farm. And now Cop finally finds a little bit of resistance here. And it looks like Impact's going to try some damage. Oh, hello.
This could be trouble. There is a flash. He's stunned, though.
So it's ever so calculated, but just calculated enough. Like Cop said, they're trying to work on it, and it's working a little bit better.
Yeah, Summoner heal burned there for Cop. I believe Adrian had used his Ignite on the previous engagement, so they couldn't diminish that heal. That's the only reason Bunny FuFuu was able to live there. But you can see some of the early presence from Rush already finding nice little moves. And now pressure on Cop, even though he should be in an easy-to-farm lane against a under-leveled support and Rumble.
Yeah.
But because his support got pushed back, it's going to be a little bit more troublesome.
Pretty interesting what's happening to these lanes. Graves up top versus Lulu now. And like you said, support Rumble versus Cop. 26-40. So I'd say Graves is having great, Apollo rather, is having a real nice time in this lane swap.
It's always funny looking at the evolution of the lane swap game in League of Legends, especially with that intro video we had about the old guard being on top. And Cop, one of those players who's been at the LCS since the start.
Yep.
I mean, back then, you wouldn't think that it would be a skill knowing how to lane against a Rumble as an AD carry. But more and more, you're getting to see these 1v1 top laner plus AD carry matchups. It's not just about the 2v2s anymore. It's about the whole plethora of champions. And Rush, distracted by the tunnel, didn't check the brush.
I mean, how long did it take for people to kind of figure out that to bring that one minion over and freeze the wave by having them all attack the one minion of the other wave?
Exactly.
You know, that's been there. It's just nobody tried it. All these things can still evolve too. Right now it looks like TIP getting the best of that one so far in this game. Top laner is not really getting a huge lead. They're 22-18. It's just all about Apollo, and we'll see if he can follow through with that. We've seen Forgiven in EU doing some big plays on Graves, so there's a lot of potential there throughout the game. Keane up to a Sheen in mid lane, going up against the Fiendish Codex. Unfortunately, XiaoWeiXiao won't be going for that DFG.
Oh, now how far will that particle actually travel?
See, it would have...
go all the way? No,
yeah.
There's like a maximum draw distance.
Then the Ember. But no, that's good physics, because it would have fizzled out anyways, right?
Someone was thinking when they coded that.
Yeah, absolutely. This is real. This isn't a video game.
You know, I've always wondered what happens, because you don't get to follow that as the Annie player. Now you know.
The greatest was old Soraka bananas, because when they traveled, they actually grew.
Man.
Oh, man, indeed. Oh, the charm misses. He actually used the barrier as well because he didn't believe in his sidestep, but it worked.
Even so, a large amount of damage thrown out by XiaoWeiXiao there, and that ultimate's going to be up in another 80 seconds or so. So now that he's burned a summoner, it makes the next gank a little bit more easy pickings, and he isn't under a huge amount of pressure from the rest of the map right now. It's just a great harassment ultimate by XiaoWeiXiao.
Good job by Apollo, knowing he can step forward with the wave, and as we were saying, XiaoWeiXiao has not been affected by those early pushes by Bunny FuFuu. Played the lane smart, and he still has all of his summoners while getting Keane to blow one of his there on that last aggressive play. A little bit of a creep around here by Rush, and he gets pinged out by Gravity. So we'll see if Saintvicious can actually make this play work. They could go a little bit harder with that knowledge.
Well, I think Saint's just going to go straight for the jungle. He got tipped off that Rush was down there, and he's just going to go straight to counter jungle. That's the smartest thing to do as a farm-capable jungler like rek'Sai against a gank-heavy jungler. Like, that is the counterplay. If you can't out-gank a guy, you just need your lanes to be tipped off and then go and starve his jungle afterwards. And it eventually makes it so his ganks aren't as good if he can never get experience.
Rush actually heading over to those Raptors right now. XiaoWeiXiao, his eye is on that blue. He's like, I could probably get this ice on me. So wait for now. But you can see, I feel like when Ahri's play on that side, they're almost ready to engage. They're trying to get the charm around and get the play. You almost sense it. And Keane's feeling it as well, playing very safe here.
It doesn't seem like there's much Keane can do as Corki. XiaoWeiXiao's reaction ability for those missiles, he just seems to dodge it with ease.
Yeah.
Doesn't even have boots.
And knowing that Ignite is down, or rather Barrier is down, is Ignite up. He wants to be in the face of Keane right now. Bottom lane, level 6 is not too close. Actually, Comp already hit his, so that means Adrian should be close, rather. 7 there for Apollo as he was soloed by himself up top. And this could be big.
Yeah, well, it depends which support hits level 6 first in that bottom lane, whether we're going to see action.
The race.
Bunny FuFuu is slightly behind Adrian, actually, and there is a level advantage on Apollo. I actually feel like Gravity's going to end up getting pushed back a little bit here. A lot of really nice skill shot dodges here by both lanes here, XiaoWeiXiao's lane and Apollo. Oh, they burn Black Shield. If they can hit level 6 while Black Shield is still down, that will be a dead Morgana.
That might be the call.
I don't think they can clear enough minions, but they'd want to.
I'm saying keep an eye on Adrian, see how much he uses in regular abilities to charge that Pyromania back up. Blue going over to XiaoWeiXiao, and pings down in the bottom lane saying no ganks can come through here. But no ganks can go through there either. See, I don't think he entered the brush.
Well, it's the worst thing. When you're burrowed as a rek'Sai, you don't actually see the pink ward.
That's true. Very true. We spoke about that before. This could be the first one. Saint gets caught out. The vision becomes the play for
Keane.
TIP here. And it looks like Rush trying to do it. Bunny FuFuu on the fast roam. You can see Impulse had the same idea, but they had the long route in the high road. And now it's going to be Gravity cleaning up as they close in on the map. Hauntzer also teleported in for this one.
Hey, XiaoWeiXiao was dodging all the skill shots out in the open, but as soon as he was tunneled on getting a kill, Keane landed everything. The Corki damage was not respected when they did that dive, and the roam from Gravity was before the roam from Impulse. So they turn around what seemed like a great play from Impulse into a big-time play for Gravity.
And that's where we see, actually, rek'Sai ultimate coming in big as well. We'll look at this one more time.
Yeah, they think they have him outsmarted. They get him on the pink ward. The escapability of rek'Sai as well, though, to flash and then tunnel, makes Impulse completely overcommit. And then the fact that Saint could get the knock-up in his dying breath destroyed that fight. After they were able to get the kill and realize they already lost one, they're like, we're on the wrong side of the map. And Impulse immediately had to back away. The teleport as well came in from Gravity's Lulu. There's nothing Impact can do as a top lane Rumble to interrupt that teleport. And it was a really nice turnaround by Gravity.
Very nice job indeed. And actually looking at that once again, I thought I saw it, but Adrian came into that at level 5. So that didn't help too much to not have tippers.
Yeah.
Min 11:30 into this one, 3-1 on the clock, or rather above the clock for kills. And we see the Raptor on Rush. He's trying to clear out some wards here. I believe he found one.
No, it procced on that
oh, you're right.
pink ward
it did.
That he couldn't clear. Now at least he knows it's there, but it's going to be a whole nother trip for him to go and get that.
Easy for Keane with a Sheen to guard that one.
Yeah, Keane's huge now. I mean, getting those 2 kills and getting a Trinity Force really starts swaying this matchup against Ahri, because now when Ahri decides to go in with Spirit Rush, Keane should be able to just auto-attack in between spells and do enough damage to trade equally.
You can see there's a lot more respect by XiaoWeiXiao being paid here to Keane. A lot of the summoners down in that mid lane, so he can go a little bit harder. Morello Namakan and that Triforce finished up. Bunny FuFuu slicing the pie on this one. There's no need to guess. You had all the time in the world to just walk in. That flash was blown from last fight.
He was trying to do a little predictive Dark Binding there, since Apollo's been dodging so many of them with his dash on Graves. But I would agree with the Riv here.
Patience.
Walk up, press your ultimate, and kill him. Was not done.
All right, so we got Adrian back. No flash, but Tibbers is up. A good push here from Gravity. Could get him in danger. XiaoWeiXiao, if this is a full roam. Nope, it is not. Just a hover.
Well, Rush really trying to make a play happen. He's been relatively shut down by the ward control out of Gravity and Saintvicious. Honestly, like the pink wards in the river that haven't been able to be cleared have really hurt his gank potential. I want to talk about the Bunny FuFuu Dark Binding in the bottom lane again, though, because it really speaks to, you see it a lot on champions like Thresh or Blitzcrank,
right?
Dodging patterns and hooking patterns.
Yeah.
And how Bunny FuFuu was trying to capitalize on Apollo's tendency to dash every time he saw the binding. So he then tried to one-up him, but Apollo wasn't actually in a tendency. He was just straight up reacting to the binding, and he can dodge it or not dodge it, reacting.
Oh, baby. Saintvicious is so close. He flashes into it. That's right. Impact did use his as well. They're going to be cooking on that Rumble equalizer. Rush, a beautiful kick, actually holds Hauntzer on it for even longer. Can he get one more hit down? He can still win this fight versus Saint very easily, and he's going to get the double kill. Keane shouldn't be able to chase this down. He probably Valkyrie to get in range, and now he's just chasing as fast as he can. Beautiful play by Rush.
Wow, the power of the equalizer with people sitting on it, but more importantly, Rush understanding his damage output with the Warrior enchantment being completed. It did not look like he would be able to turn that fight around the way he did, but he absolutely crushed both Hauntzer and Saintvicious here.
It was a great kick to get him to stay on the equalizer as well.
Yeah, so first off, it starts off really poorly from Impact. He misses his Electro Harpoon and then flashes into a wall. So Gravity thinks they have this one in the bag, but at least he lands the equalizer, and Gravity is stuck on that, fighting Rush. And then when he kicks Saintvicious over, Hauntzer is there for pretty much the full duration of the equalizer. Nice little ward jump to get around Saintvicious, and by this point, Saintvicious can't run away. He tries to run towards his Corki, but Rush has his spells back up and finishes him off.
Rush being in the right spot at the right time as these guys move throughout the season. It was kind of him going on solo missions. He's been in the back pocket of his players when they need it.
top lane, please. Flash the wall.
It's a big wall, deceptively big. And we have only 1,000 gold lead here going over to Gravity for now. Still a dragon to be taken in this game. We're 15 minutes in. Wow, Keane putting out some good damage there. A 1 Spirit Rush just to say, get out of my town.
Yeah, honestly, giving up the Ahri for not much and banking on this mid lane Corki. Since Keane's been able to get a few kills, the Corki in particular has been able to keep up the lane shoving onto XiaoWeiXiao's Ahri, which is something pretty much no mid laners can do against Ahri. That's one of the things that makes her so potent.
Yeah.
Oh, rush though.
Keane can still go over the wall, possibly, if he has that Valkyrie to teleport in. That's going to be Impact. Nicely lays down the Equalizer. He's going to be able to take down Keane. Quite a bit of resources for one, but they grab him.
Yeah, and teleport canceled by Hauntzer as well, knowing that Rush was there and they were going to be going into a 2v3. Had to run away at the last second. Saint, just saying hello.
Gonna be scary. Actually going Sightstone on rek'Sai. Is that something you see usually?
Not often. I think he's trying to keep up with the Lee Sin vision control.
Right now, Hauntzer trying to keep up with the damage. Damage control for Impact. This is going to not be good. He's going in hard. That's going to be the takedown that they need. And Rush, again, in the right spot, right time.
Yeah, that was another gank, but obviously it's a resource trade right now.
Yep.
I wonder if Adrian's going to be going in hard on this one. He does not have Tibbers, but he does have a stun.
Whoa, they are going hard. Very nicely done. Apollo getting the damage out that he needs. Cobb's going to be able to hop over the wall with the auto attack given, so he was just waiting for that patiently. Nice dragon by Gravity, but they do lose too.
Game turning quite messy in the last few minutes as teams commit to making plays instead of just reacting to each other's plays. And a few little mechanical mistakes being made back and forth. Saint there not cheating towards the mid lane instead of the bot lane. And obviously Hauntzer getting a little too aggressive without proper vision control on the rush. The first dragon not that important, so I wonder if Impulse will be able to take control of the game now as they do seem to have won the kill war with the pressure and trading that just happened.
Well, they're able to drop that bottom turret, 1-1 now, but they have lost mid lane, so they have to be careful to those deep wards that Gravity can start putting into this map. A lot of damage being brought up by Keane now as he gets the BF sword under his belt. The Hurricane's finished up for top. They're still waiting. Apollo, he's had a good farm in those kills, but I think he's sitting on some gold. He's going back right now.
Yeah, this side lane rush control was absolutely paramount in the Ahri matchups once XiaoWeiXiao can start getting the lane shoved. Normally, you actually see the Ahri and the jungler pink ward those side brushes because it's so valuable to be able to charm out of there. But Gravity hasn't had to do that thus far since Keane has kept the lane so shoved. We'll see if that ends up changing now that XiaoWeiXiao has a few items on his belt. I don't think it will because Keane's trading damage seems high enough.
High enough, like you said, the double sight stone as well, keeping the wards out all over the place. Where he's going to go from this. Oh, very clever. Sensing that one out. And again, there's the pink wards you're talking about on the side lane, and possibly would have been an engage there with Adrian. So Gravity
needs to react to this.
Yeah, I was going to say Gravity's taking control without any movement here from Impulse, but the way that Gravity could exit this may give Impulse the fight that they want. Bunny FuFuu down. He's going to be grabbed out by Fate's Call there. Stops the damage immediately once you've been grabbed and thrown to safety.
Oh, Kalista. In the collapse as well, XiaoWeiXiao had to burn his Spirit Rush, which will increase the amount of pressure that Gravity has. Now, with this double AD composition and Lulu, one big strength of Gravity, especially with the Hurricane on Kalista, is their ability to shove lanes really, really fast. That's where they're going to be getting the majority of their lane pressure here. So now it's all about Gravity creeping their ward line closer and closer to Impulse's jungle because they already have 2 out of the 3 turrets. If they can just make the wards go deeper and deeper, eventually they would be able to strangle Impulse out of this game.
Eventually making their way to these turrets. Right now picking up their own resources. Will it be a direct turret approach that Gravity can take, or are they actually going to have to use those deep wards and surround it?
The thing is, they have to be so careful because the catch potential on Impulse is really high. Flash Tibbers, or just to charm out of the fog of war when they do not have vision control, makes their job really, really difficult. Like I said, I did really like Impulse's composition in Champion Select. They have tremendous teamfight potential, good pick potential, and relatively strong lanes from a pushing perspective.
Right.
It's just that Gravity has even stronger lane pushing, and they, because of the lead they got on Keane, have been able to put pressure on these turrets. Now with 3 down.
Yep. Can't really even stop that top one as they were there. Cop knows that was going down. He's backing off, just getting free farm for himself. And right now, Gravity sits, as they have in most of their games, ahead by a little bit, and now to turn that on, to push that advantage a little bit more. Usually we'll see it, like you said, with the pushing, and they haven't been making mistakes, which is quite impressive for some of these new teams coming in. Impulse still trying to pretty much prove themselves in the LCS as they come out here. A little bit of faltering in the early part of the season, but they themselves have had a good mid-game decision-making as it comes down to it.
Gravity generally following the calls of Saintvicious. A lot of confidence in each other. They do tend to play it a little slow sometimes, which could come back to bite them. rek'Sai does fall off a fair bit into the late game, but we're still in the mid-game here.
Not many opportunities for Impulse to start those picks just yet. Gravity in safe mode. Hard hats are on for them. 21 minutes in with 120 on the Dragon. Looking to see all ultimates are up. We haven't really seen too many fights, so this is going to be everything that both teams have when they approach this.
Yeah, it really becomes about division control in the Dragon area, or even the tunnel network that Saintvicious has put up. He doesn't really have any flanking tunnels for that spot. But more importantly, Impulse has no real ward control beyond the Dragon Pit, whereas Gravity does. And both of these teams have pretty decent catch potential. Bunny FuFuu could do it with a Dark Binding, Impulse could do it with a Charm, or an Anti-Stun. But only one team will actually be able to do that if only one team has vision. And that's Gravity right now.
Could be one heck of a play. I know we saw Unicorns of Love do it on Kickus, where he Void rushed all the way behind the team and then came in with Gnar. So Saint could get some of those tunnels on the side of Impulse. They really would have a lot more options here. Popping up out of the ground, and then a Lulu ult. Good synergy in the fight.
Yeah, it would be good synergy for the fight. I wonder if Impulse is even going to fight this. Yes, Impact has his teleport, and he's trying to shove out that top lane. But if they don't have Rumble there at the start of the fight to combo with the initiation, there's going to be nothing to keep Gravity on top of the Equalizer.
Ooh.
Really interesting here. Gravity disregarding the Dragon for a red buff invade. What are they planning?
Top lane?
Yeah, maybe just to push top. I don't like this. Currently they're 23 minutes in and they're denying Impulse the Dragon damage from attack damage and ability power, and they give it up for a red buff. Do not approve. They get vision control in the red jungle. Maybe they can get a kill on Impact. This is going to start a whole bunch of action, whether they dive Impact here and whether they can defend this push in the mid lane. Let's see what happens.
Very interesting decision. It is going to have to be the... Oh, the Zhonya's! Saint can't get the pop-up that he wants. Impact flashes off of it, and it looks like they're going to be putting a lot of resources into just taking him down. Hauntzer could actually get hit up by this one. He uses the Wild Growth on himself and gets out.
It took so much to get that one kill. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Impulse also sold out for a kill on Keane, burning both of his summoners. Adrian burned his summoners as well. Now it's a pushing battle. Who is going to go back to base first? I think they just trade inner turrets, but Impulse ends up getting 2 turrets and a Dragon out of this trade when all is said and done.
Very interesting play call there by Gravity. Saintvicious Void rushes out to try and deter them from any more pushing. It kind of just seemed like a we're up here, so let's go for it decision. Maybe they won't react. It
was not a good play call by any means. While that was happening up top, Adrian does get the stun on Keane. Keane tries to return a little bit of damage. He knew he was dead to rights anyway. Like, that was a 3-man dive that was clean. Gravity did a 4-man dive that was very messy and just not a good call when everything is considered. They needed the Dragon denial, and then the execution was also off.
Well, it was working for them, but once they forego the patience, they got themselves into a little bit of trouble. See if they can right that ship. They've actually evened up the gold on this one now, but losing those 2 in the middle could really open up things for Impulse to get themselves, even for them, like you said, now in the fog of war, they can be all in the jungle of Gravity and start setting those wards down.
I mean, one thing that did happen as a byproduct of that last play by Gravity is they've managed to ascertain control of both jungles. The dive top lane gave them ward littering in the red side jungle, and Impulse had to back away. Immediately, Saintvicious invaded the blue side. This is the type of lane pressure that Gravity wants to have in order to starve Impulse out of farming. But if it is yet to be seen if they can actually capitalize off that, because it is just Bunny FuFuu's binding as far as real catch potential goes.
Going to be difficult. Seems like teams are resorting to that here and there. We see CLG doing it a bit with all the pick of Blitzcranker and Afro Moo grabbing some Morgana bindings. Hopefully it works. It's kind of, I feel like it puts things down to like on a wire. If it doesn't work in the early game, it's going to be harder and harder towards the late game.
Gravity and Impulse, honestly, playing in these really close games. Think back to the last game we saw Impulse play last week, that crazy one they had against Team 8.
Yeah.
Tons of wombo combo team fights. Impulse was nursing a lead, if you can put it like that, against a really strong team fight comp. Here it almost looks to be somewhat the other way, where Impulse are the ones with some team fight superiority.
Yeah.
Ahri, Graves, Rumble, if they can get people in a condensed space, can really do some damage.
It really comes down to, as we said before, them being solo queue players and having to form into a team. This is going to be one of those games that tests that team aspect of if they can come together, if they can figure out what to do in the mid game. And right now, it's like Gravity wants to test that as well. But it looks like they back out.
Well, Impact isn't here. He's pushing the bottom lane. So they're trying to get some of the lane pressure back without venturing into their jungle.
They're doing a pretty good job of it. They've grabbed everybody. It's only going to be Hauntzer to the bottom lane. He does have a bit of power with that needlessly large rod and Athene, so he can clear this out. But they're getting what they want across the map, and Impact and the rest of the team is starting to actually not get wards in. I was going to say gain more control, but they're really only pushing a bit.
This is becoming a very scary Rumble. Leandry's with Magic Pen and Azani's Hourglass. It's pretty much all a Rumble needs.
Hey, it's Impact. We know what he can do on Rumble. It's only going to get worse for Gravity here if he can stay alive longer. 2-2-2. He's given him what he needs, and the equalizers have been absolutely on point throughout the game as well. It's going to be even harder if Gravity tries to find a fight in the jungle.
Bravery shield.
It's looking for a pick of their own, but they're not going to get it. So Impulse backs, happy with the situation on the map so far. Getting more farm onto Apollo right now. He's actually pretty big, going for the Yomus. We've been seeing that more from Graves as well.
Yeah, the caster Graves, also a little bit of extra mobility if he's looking to chase someone down. It still appears to be a very farm-heavy game, of course.
I'm kind of waiting to see if anything comes from Gravity in this Kalista Morgana combo. First pick Kalista hasn't really exploded too much. Cobb did do well in it last week, so you're getting comfort to him. But who are you gonna throw? Are you gonna throw Bunny FuFuu in there? It'd be scary.
Yeah, well, he needs his Zanyas before you can throw him in.
That's true. He's only on the sequence.
At the moment, he's just throwing him out. Bunny FuFuu would jump in with an
in a nice way.
Take him out of there. With Dragon being up in 41 seconds, though, I think it again somewhat becomes about that prep. But with both teams having one Dragon, the second Dragon really doesn't matter, aside from the eventual quest for 5.
Looks like they still want it. Well, right now, for one of the teams, it's going to say we actually get them in a spot to fight.
Look, yeah, it's pink ward control that Gravity has. Impulse does not. But if they can find a fight nonetheless without getting punished for not having vision, then Gravity would really just end up losing this game for lack of aggression, it feels like. They have the vision control. They need to be able to find ways to make plays off of this. But they're giving so much respect to Impulse's team fighting that even when Impulse is walking in blind, it goes unpunished.
Yeah, I was going to say.
They walk straight in and cleared both pink wards.
Rush is just absolutely fearless in these. He's walking within inches of the team. Once he's just going to walk up, kick Saintvicious in the mouth, and turn around.
Yeah, they're just straight up starting the Dragon. They're daring Gravity to fight.
It's almost done already. It's going to be done. That's going to be Rush's. And this may be the fight starter. Great Tibbers coming out of Adrian there. And they are just going to go haywire on this fight. Bunny FuFuu gets pulled out by Fate. And that is going to be Cobb taking a huge hit from XiaoWeiXiao. This is Gravity running for the hills now. After taking Dragon, Impulse now moves themselves down mid.
Yeah, this might be a showing of how Gravity has completely lost control of this game from a team fight perspective. That was a pretty much missed Tibbers.
Whoops.
Keane picks up a kill on the backside, but that was a missed Tibbers and a missed Rumble ultimate and Gravity still had to tuck tail and run. Let's see what Keane can do here. He's got a lot of damage. Rushing's back up. He has some backup.
Oh, Keane. Real aggressive on that one. Definitely didn't need to go down.
Well, he had very few places to run.
This is true. See what Saintvicious can try to get out of this one. No. No, that's not good idea.
If they can get a few kills here, they'd be able to do Baron.
I feel like they still have enough damage to be able to take this fight. Blowing flashes, both sides on that one, so that may work out for them next time. They do gather the cavalry here. Get back in time. Gravity playing pretty scary, but doing what they can for the best of their ability.
Yeah, Gravity needs to start making some desperation plays because they're so inferior in team fights. They know they have some vision control. They know they have Kalista, so the Baron secure is very real unless Impulse fights them off of it. But they were spotted. Couldn't do it.
All right, Gravity now knows this game's getting a lot tighter for them, and whatever lead they have has gone to the wayside. 2K now in favor of Impulse as they start to show a bright light in team organization and really playing together here. Rush still going pretty headstrong in these fights, but it's paid off for the team quite a bit.
His Lee Sin has looked really good in team fights and also just in skirmishes this game. Really solid performance by him today. Probably the best we've seen him yet in the LCS.
It's resonating to the rest of the team too. They're all kind of feeding off of that momentum that he has on it. You see them all participating pretty much in the kills pretty well. 2-2-2 across the board, 3 kills for Apollo. Something about that Graves. I don't know. Not dying. Looks like Cop's kept himself alive this game as well. And that's something we mentioned before. The AD carries are faring well within these games that are just so chaotic and everybody else is falling left and right. Seems like they've been able to keep themselves numbers up and try to put the game on their back. Rush.
Better be careful, man.
2 wards, need 3. More wards. Looks like he should be safe on this one. Void Rush comes out from Saint, so they know that Gravity is actually in a position to fight now.
Without crab control, though, against a Rumble and an Ahri, Gravity can't safely take this Baron. Cop would need to have a really great fight here. Against Annie, Ahri, though, it's just really, really difficult. I mean, that's why you typically don't see Kalista picked right at the start of a draft, because it does actually have some things that is hard to play against.
Now, is it something, if you were Comp, would you actually look into a QSS? Because Morgana's going to have to go for power and Zanya's to be thrown, not really Mikhail's right away.
Geez, it's tricky. That's what the Black Shield is for, generally. I think they want to prevent the application.
Gotta have fast fingers.
Cop needs damage more than anything else right now. Maybe really late game, you'd want a Scimitar or something. Maybe he'll go for QSS next.
Yeah.
But honestly, something like a Banshee's Veil and a Spectre's Cowl earlier on is more to the point. XiaoWeiXiao's damage comes out in such small packets that one cleanse doesn't do a huge amount for you, because the charm should be Black Shielded anyway.
Right.
It's a tricky decision for Cop.
Eyes from Bunny FuFuu always on him to keep him safe. Saintvicious feels like he can put some aggression here. They got a good pinch on to the team. That's the teleport is from Impact in the bottom lane.
That is a good catch, though. Start the fight off with no support.
Oh, getting the flash onto Apollo. Good hits. Impact actually found in a 2v1 situation in Tribrush. Now they're getting good hits onto Hauntzer. He gets taken down as Gravity decided to turn tail, and he was the last one in on the call. The rest of the team now forcing back into the fight. They're trying to trade more. It's already Adrian and Impact down. He did go down in Tribrush. Now Saint falls, actually. Impulse to turn it around once more. Fate's call coming in for Bunny FuFuu, but he throws him right back into the frying pan, and he says, I think this is all we got. Doing as much damage as he can, valiantly, but he doesn't even go down. Cobb coming up huge. Oh, he dashes into the charm because you can't cancel the auto. And XiaoWeiXiao comes up huge.
Oh, man. Woo. Well, there's some individual play coming out in that fight if I've ever seen some.
So.
Total chaos erupted once Adrian got caught. Both teams just decided to buy into the fight. I mean, we knew the Ahri was going to be hard to deal with, and we also knew that Cop's Kalista needed to have a good fight, and both things happened there. I mean, just to start it off, Adrian doesn't really have an impact.
No, the Tibbers went down.
They did burn. Oh, we can't show replays. XiaoWeiXiao's on the prowl. He's done. He's dead.
Oh my God! What? I cannot believe that. He might be able to get, no. Oh, never mind. Here comes Bunny FuFuu hopping through the forest. He had enough. Double bust for him. That was insane, though. XiaoWeiXiao on point with his Ahri play this game.
Pretty strong Ahri play, I would say, from XiaoWeiXiao right there. Jeez. Closing on Hauntzer. I mean, yeah, he had an enormous gold lead, but I don't think he'd gone back after that last fight.
No, because he just got a Zanya's and a Giant's belt.
Oh, dear. It's going to be trouble. But knowing that he is dead and Hauntzer does have teleport could create a momentary advantage for Gravity to pick up Dragon number 2 here. Impulse pretty much has to fall back from this one.
Yeah.
Because they'd be jumping into a 5v4 without their main carry.
Well, I don't know. I mean, did that
got
fight,
ourselves a barn burner.
Did that fight tell you much? Like, the next fight could really be anybody's depending on if they pop XiaoWeiXiao fast enough. This is still really back and forth. 36 minutes in, 2-2 on Dragons.
To me, what these fights are telling us is that Gravity is compositionally worse in team fights, but they are playing them better. Impulse has missed Rumble ultimates. Adrian has had no impact with Tibbers. This has not been a good game for him.
That's true.
And the onus is on Gravity to outplay these fights. Even when they caught Adrian at the start of that fight, they still got aced, even if they took out 4 people from Impulse. Advantage is still definitely in the side of XiaoWeiXiao's team with that massive Ahri. But Gravity is not giving up without a fight. It's the greater team play, greater experience that's coming through from them and allowing them to stay close in these fights.
There's Rush again, fearlessly diving in, but they flash to bait him in even farther. Adrian had flash. That'll make the Tibbers connect. Zanya's has been used across the board for everybody, and it's time to fight. Saintvicious is going to fall, but he gets a little bit of life back and stays for just a second. Rush still in the front, trying to be that shield for the team, and he kicks it just to miss the Sonic Wave into Resonating Strike. It looks like Impulse was able to pretty much come up on this one, but still doesn't look pretty. Yeah,
that was a much better fight because both Adrian and Impact used their ultimates in synchrony with each other to completely blow up Cop. No Banshee's Veil, no QSS, and no Black Shield were on him for that fight. Now they turn to Baron. 5 low health members. Bunny FuFuu's going to try to be a hero.
Oh, Impact. They stay alive on that one, and instantly 0 out onto Bunny FuFuu. Keane can do what he can here. Go.
Take it.
My mind's telling me yes.
Yeah, that was Impulse knowing when to back away. Let's take a look at this crazy fight. So Rush goes in, gets the Black Shield onto Keane. That in itself was enough because then Adrian could blow up Cop. Everyone was on the same page. XiaoWeiXiao flanking from the side. With Kalista out of this fight, the threats from Gravity are slim to none. Keane had already had to Valk away, and if not for that last Black Shield and slight miss by Rush on his Sonic Wave, it would have been even worse. But Impulse will take the Baron.
Impulse will take the Baron, and a great fight. Nicely done in the jungle as well. We said Gravity might not want those choked up fights, and they were just cooking on the Equalizer. We did see Dragons come before that, so we're at 2-2 now, 18-11 as we approach 40 minutes in the game. It looks like Impulse is really starting to take control. They've figured out what they want to do with their team, and they're executing very well.
We can see the QSS as well picked up by Cop. He kind of stopped halfway through that Zeal. I think he was going to end up picking up more damage, but after he got stunned there, realizing it's very easy, well, not even very easy, realizing it's possible for Impulse to bait out the Black Shield on a different target and then go for Cop, picks up the QSS. There will be no flash for any if they go for this next fight, as well as having a QSS onto Cop. Gives them a slightly better fighting chance here. But the gold lead is growing. XiaoWeiXiao has reached maximum item build.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
And now they go.
Maximum item build being respected by Keane's side as well. He's gone for a Maw of Malmortius. We see Gravity losing their inhibitor turret now. The first inhibitor will fall in favor of Impulse here as they have clawed their way back into this game. Very nice.
God.
Wow, Hauntzer was way too close. He gets charmed in. Saintvicious gets hit up, but he's got the HP to stay alive just long enough with that lock of the Iron Solari being built up earlier. And Impulse is happy. They take it and leave.
That charm from XiaoWeiXiao just set up everything else. Hauntzer not having the best of games, and the fact that he has no real tank stats or anything. Not that you would on AP Lulu. The charm just didn't give him time to react. Couldn't even use his ultimate. Yeah. Impulse and total control, I think they're just going to be trying to push the side lanes next.
Let's see that one more time.
Yeah, I mean, I think they were looking for some kind of engage, but he eats the one charm. Flame Spitter, Graves ult, Lee Sin. The kitchen sink really was thrown at him by Impulse there. Rumble Ultimate, not so much. That was a poor one by Impact, but it was not required.
That was nice. It was kind of an early read by XiaoWeiXiao. We saw one of those charms in Europe as well. Not as classy or flashy, but it kind of just preemptively throws it out. 5-4 in turrets. Impulse, they are not afraid to be in the jungle of Gravity right now because they pretty much own this. Gravity only had a few moments on the side of Impulse's blue. This is going to be going down. So Impulse pushed this, set up even more. They don't have any other ways to push, so it might be Dragon if they can't get past this last line of defense here. Maybe it'll just be Dragon.
Well, it's not going to be one of these 5 Dragon games, I hope, because that would mean we have at least another 13 minutes in this one before Impulse could get 5. But they have definitely acquired map control and a very large advantage in team fights. But we haven't seen a nice team fight for Cop since you got that QSS. It does feel like Impulse will have to wait for the next Baron before they make a big move. Gravity living up to their name as well, of the long LCS games. They're owners of the longest NALCS game as well. I wonder if they'd contest this Dragon. I mean, I feel like Gravity can just push mid.
Yeah. No minions, though. Unfortunate. So Gravity kind of just walking about, really no ideas or strategies to kind of put into place right now, hoping that Impulse makes a mistake. Impulse actually had that earlier. They were waiting for Gravity to make the mistake, and they did. So they're kind of reminiscing about that and saying, we'll not make the same. We're just going to go ahead and take it. That Dragon's theirs. Number 3, and now they'll slowly push. We've even seen Rush kind of hold off. They're being very calculated now in their pressure. Now we're going to have Impact pushing by.
Making sure they get the right initiation. It does appear that they're holding out for the next Baron. Speaking of long games, there was an LCK game last night between CJ Entis and Jin Air that went, what was it, 79 minutes plus?
51 seconds.
Yeah, the second longest game we've had. Not quite outlasting the Curse versus Complexity game from last year, but it did set the CS record.
Yeah. 2 of them.
Coco's Jace, CS King, over 700. We're not there for this game. I feel like Impulse should be able to close. We'd have another 38 minutes left in this one if they wanted to break that record.
It'd be a long one. Might get a little delirious by that point. XiaoWeiXiao still holding strong. He's approaching 500 for this game. And he's pretty much maxed item. It looks like he did, after that Giants belt, go for the Rylas. So they're looking to keep these fights and keep people stuck onto that Rumble ultimate.
Yeah, what was the patch note for Ahri on her Q? Something like grants an enormous amount of
massive amount
of movement speed.
Yeah.
If that wasn't enough, he's picked up Alacrity boots for a little bit more.
Massiver.
Yeah.
That's great.
Going to be darting all around those team fights on Ahri.
I mean, when you're playing basketball and you throw the ball at somebody, don't you run faster? Right? That's just how physics works. You throw
Not carrying a ball anymore.
And then when they throw it back to you, you slow down.
Yep.
Boom.
Look at that. Look at that massive move speed. He had 800 move speed or no? I couldn't read that right.
I think that's his AP.
Yeah, that was wrong. that was definitely his AP. 600 move speed when he throws that, or about there. 580.
She is a fox. She is fast.
Foxes are fast.
Not 800 fast. So blue buff.
That's definitely. It is 880 AP, by the way.
That's still a lot of AP.
Yeah, he's sitting on that sorcery elixir. He's obviously max item. So Impulse would want to do something sooner rather than later. Inhib is respawned. Baron is contestable. How will Gravity try and play this one? They don't have control.
This is the all or nothing.
Baron goes down quickly. They'd have to find just the right fight, but if they're allowing Impulse to have the vision control, when Gravity couldn't even win fights when they themselves had the vision control, it's looking pretty bad. They're going to try and posture off this mid lane. I think we're seeing a fight soon. There they go. Not quite.
They definitely don't want to group up. Something they're missing is a lot of AoE in this fight that Impulse brings, and that's what they've been winning with. And Saintvicious is going to get himself caught out. They have to be careful, though. They're just caught out one by one here. There's the AoE. It's on to Hauntzer. He saves himself with Wild Growth, and they throw Buddy FuFuu in. That's what they were looking for with Fate's Call. It locks up the team, but it looks like Impulse just doesn't care. They still go forward in the fight. That's going to be a double kill coming in for Apollo. Now they're on to Comp. He's able to dash away. XiaoWeiXiao just missing the charm on the outside, and they will back off. Happy with 2, and now to Baron.
That feels like the best fight Gravity is going to get there.
Yeah.
They had a little bit of frontline control. Their AD carries were not immediately closed on. The burst didn't actually kill anyone straight off the bat, and they still lost it 2-0.
Ooh. That Rylai's makes things really scary for anybody to engage. That's the Talisman of Ascension.
Does he go?
Oh, yes! Rush takes it! That's going to be, he knew Comp could do this to him, though. The kiting ability of Kalista takes Rush down immediately. XiaoWeiXiao is able to pick up Hauntzer. Comp running for the hills. And that's, yeah, there's a base gate, but he knows that's actually going to be death because that would have been Impulse just closing in and pinching him out. This could be tough for him to even get back into his base. He's trying to back outside.
Well, here's the thing. Impulse doesn't have any minions to help him take down this one. They're going to try and tank it up.
These turrets hurt.
Oh, yes, they do.
They shred that armor.
Good job being able to take that one down, though. Means
it's good that they pressure to fight.
They can actually stick around for an hip, too. Oh, God.
Oh! Oh! Jeez.
Who needs words when that happens to you?
So much follow-up. You thought he was alive. You thought he was alive. Nope. Nope.
Yeah.
Not alive.
That Ahri orb, especially because the backside of it does true damage.
Yeah. It stings a little bit.
Jeez.
This is fighting.
450 true damage on the way back, but the fight itself, I mean, Adrian gets a catch onto the support and the top lane support. So not much there. What you should really be watching is Keane and Kopp, who do an all right amount of damage here. Kopp is pretty much free hitting the majority of this fight.
Yeah.
But everyone else on his team is just dying or not doing much. The rek'Sai is ineffective. The Lulu is also ineffective. Keane can pretty much just throw missiles. Plus, he's been itemizing pretty heavily defensively with the Mercury Treads and the Maw of Malmortius to try and deal with XiaoWeiXiao's Ahri. It's not enough.
It's kind of like it's the damage I like to call like change your mind damage, because they run in and you look at the damage from Gravity and none of that's going to instantly change your mind. But if you get hit with Rumble, with an anti-Tibbers and whatnot, you're going to lose half your health and be like, I may not want to do this. I changed my mind. And that's exactly what Impulse is doing here. They're just seeing Gravity's damage and saying, that's cool, here's ours.
Yeah. Impact now with the Hat of Magic to finish off his Rumble build. This is great for them right now. Third inhibitor on the way. And I mean, this is what happens for Gravity when they have that double AD composition. They can't close early. They had the early turret pressure. Now they have to deal with the fights.
Ooh, Saintvicious gets in. He's pretty tanky, but nobody can follow up. The red carpet's laid out, and Gravity turns the other way. They do not want to be welcome to this party. That's going to be Impulse dropping another inhibitor. That's 3 down across the board, and they're going to be onto the Nexus turrets. A fantastic game to start off week 3 for Impulse.
That Apollo guy, where'd he come from? 11, 1, and 8. Great performance on Graves, but it was a team effort here. Impulse
absolutely
really coming together, starting out week 3 with a win.
Should be very happy with themselves. Able to adapt to the early game of Gravity with a slight lead. It wasn't anything that was really troublesome for Impulse, but they were able to turn it and using their advantage. When those small fights happened around Baron, it was worried. Sometimes these teams will get fights and they might just walk about, grab their jungle, then go back, and they won't gain too many off the fights. Impulse seemed to not have that problem, and they would always try to gain a little bit more. That's good to see.
Pretty impressive here for Team Impulse.
Yeah.
Especially picking a team fight-oriented composition when they've typically been solo lane-oriented players. It's honestly what their owner was talking about once the coach came in, whether they'd be able to play more as a team, what they'd be able to fix. You can see Kopp there being handed the first Kalista loss of the NALCS split by this great team-fighting team of Impulse.
And they did put a lot of weight on that Kalista, first picking it here in the game, first game of the week. They got a good composition, besides something they've played before with that, like
double AD,
still
supportive. I mean, I wouldn't say there are any big mistakes out of either of these team compositions outside of the Ahri going so easily to XiaoWeiXiao. Yeah, they could kind of handle it in the lane, But once he got a few items under his belt, he was too fast, doing too much true damage,
Right.
and it allowed a lot of nice collateral damage follow-ups from Apollo to finish these fights.
It's a what are you going to do? Let's give XiaoWeiXiao Ahri. We'll focus him with Bunny FuFuu early. That didn't work twice, unfortunately, and XiaoWeiXiao, he keeps his CS up in the mid lane. He already, coming into this game, he is 80 at 10 to 73 at 10, which isn't huge, but as you get into the late game, you're 6 items before your opponent usually.
Yeah, and that's what XiaoWeiXiao has always been able to do. It doesn't seem like he's necessarily fallen off that much. I was wondering during the offseason, right? He's the one returning member from LMQ. How much was No Name's jungle going to, help or not help XiaoWeiXiao? Would he be able to perform with this new jungler who comes in from Korea when XiaoWeiXiao's a Chinese mid laner playing in North America? And it doesn't really seem to have affected him that much. He still gets his farm, and when the team is ready to, he'll be able to follow up in team fights.
And you look at situations like that, and you're like,